And I hope we are live. I say I hope because I'm not quite sure what to make of what's happening in the in my OBS bitrate indicator. It says there I'm streaming at 4000 kbps, but the indicator is red. Usually when the indicator is red, the kbps is less than 1000, maybe zero even. But it's not zero, it's 4000, but it's red. It is so weird. Anyway guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to my live stream. There you go. And I was going to go back and do whatever it is I'm doing in Second Life, while browsing through the different content or videos in YouTube, it seems that there are more videos or content about Dragon Age, the Veilguard, a return to form. I learned that it's some kind of keyword. There was this screenshot that I saw in X showing all the articles, or I guess you can say reviews by writers. Not journalists, by the way, not journalists, but writers. They have all of them. Well, at least shown those, at least those shown in the screenshot. They have the praise, a return to form. Oh my goodness! How was that possible? Well, it's possible because they were instructed, obviously, they were instructed by the publisher or the developer to use the phrase "a return to form," because that is obviously their marketing tagline or catchphrase, or caption, "a return to form." It's for marketing, so that when someone searches for a return to form, Dragon Age Veilguard will appear. At least that is what I think is what they are trying to do. I could be wrong. Anyway guys, let's go check out what's happening in the gaming space regarding Dragon Age, the Veilguard, a return to form. Also, the music playing in the background. Yeah, the music playing in the background is Welcome to the Show by Kevin MacLeod. It's licensed under Creative Commons 4.0 and you can download it for free at incompetech.com. Okay. So we, okay, well, what was I going to say? There is a very annoying insect flying around me. What is it? Oh my goodness. Is it a fly? Is it a mosquito? What is it? It's so annoying. I'm going to try and catch the annoying insect with my bare hands. If that was possible. Anyway, we have here. What do we have here? BioWare Insiders exposed Dragon Age of Veilguard from Endymion. And then we also have Asmongold with So About Dragon Age. And then here, another Dragon Age video, 12 hours ago, Woke versus Anti-Woke. And Steam review war of Dragon Age Veilguard. You don't have to participate in this stupid war. What you can do is, since it's an LGBTQ plus game, according to Steam, I'm not sure if they removed that already. I'm going to recheck. Maybe it's an edited screenshot, so I'm going to verify. Hold on, guys. Okay, there you go. Confirmed. Confirmed. It's an excuse me. It's an LGBTQ plus tagged game. It's not for you. Obviously, if you're not LGBTQ plus, you're a straight person, a straight guy. You're a heterosexual person. This game is not for you. It's not for me. It's not for you. If you are a Christian, this game is not for you because they don't like Christians for some weird reason. As far as I know, there are two main religions in the world, and between the two, it's the only one who tolerates LGBTQ+. Guess what? They hate Christians. It is so weird that they hate those who tolerates them. Those who are actually not bigoted. But then again, if they weren't weird, or if it's not weird, then there won't be any discussion about it. So I just had to recheck because maybe I was just seeing things. Because I enjoy, well, like and enjoy is like synonymous, right? I enjoy going through Steam's discovery, and when I did the discovery earlier today, one of the first games that was shown was Dragon Age the Veilguard, and I saw that it was tagged or labeled as an LGBTQ plus game. And guess what? I'm not interested in playing. Even if I had the money to buy the game, even if I had the PC to run the game on, I'm not interested in LGBTQ plus games. I'm pretty sure. I'm not saying that you can't, or game developers can't make LGBTQ plus games, because there are obviously LGBTQ plus gamers out there. You just can't say that they don't exist, because they do. Unfortunately, I'm not the target audience. I don't have to spend money just to complain about a game that is not made for me. And I really, really appreciate that Steam tagged it or labeled it as such, because now you don't have, okay, you guys, I'm telling you, you don't have any more reason to complain that the game is woke, because it, especially if you get, or if you are looking at a game in Steam, because it's labeled correctly. and and that is what I like. If game developers are making games for the LGBTQ plus community, that is good. It's amazing. I just want them to label the games properly, so that there won't be any confusion and miscommunication. The problem right now is because they are releasing woke games, they are releasing LGBTQ plus games, and they're trying to market it as a game for everyone, which is not. And that is where I believe, or that is the part of the backlash as to what is happening. But if they are going forward, if they are labeling games properly, I'm pretty sure all this backlash, all these complaints, all these negative reactions will eventually die down or disappear. Because now you can't complain anymore. For example, if the next Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 3, and it's labeled LGBTQ plus or woke, it's right there on the label. Now you know that it's not for you. And if you buy it, and if you still buy it, and you play it and complain that, what is this? Why do they have this? Why are they doing this? Why do they have all these things? Well, I'm not going to side with you. I will have no sympathy because it's properly labeled. It's like buying something that is rated adult and then complain that there are naked people in it. There you go. Proper labeling and tagging of games. I think that is very important. Very important, because not everyone is LGBTQ plus, and not everyone is heterosexual. So it must be clearly labeled, and you can't market an LGBTQ plus game as a game for everyone. No, it's not gonna work. There will be complaints and there will be backlash, because it's like a scam. Actually, you are selling them something that is not for them. Now, game developers, game publishers, moving forward, you need to properly label your games. This was like 2 hours ago. Dragon Age fans ban. Okay, let's go and check this one out. Why would they ban? Again, I think I've mentioned this like in the previous live stream, and I keep mentioning it because people should understand this. It's a very simple and easy concept. The woke's idea of inclusivity is exclusion. I know, it's if you are a man or a person with common sense, it's kind of confusing, right? How can inclusivity be exclusive? Because unfortunately, that is their definition of what inclusivity is. That is what inclusive mean to them. Inclusivity means exclusion of those who don't agree with their beliefs and values. That is what inclusivity means. And as soon as the rest of the world understand what it actually means, I'm pretty sure it will eventually lessen the conflict. Now people won't have to complain. Oh, okay, you actually mean exclusion or excluded, right? Okay. Thank you. Because for common folks, or we to folks with common sense, their definition of inclusivity is our definition of bigotry. And that is fine, okay? That is fine. People can have their own definitions of words if that is what they want. Communicating is gonna be difficult because if well, it's already difficult because they keep changing the definitions of word. They have their own, I guess you can say they have their personal definitions of words. Yeah, but what can you do? What can you do? You can just adapt. You adapt or you just ignore them. It's easier to ignore it than adapt to it. But at least in your core, you understand what they're trying to say. Okay, inclusivity, bigoted. Okay, sure, bigoted person. I understand what you mean, bigoted person. That is what their definition of inclusivity is. Their definition of inclusivity is our definition of bigotry. It's kind of sad though. Okay, Fritanga plays. Let's go give this one a like. What's with the music? I'm not a big fan of music. Well, I'm a fan of music. It's just that I'm not a big fan of music that I don't know the licenses or the license of.
At this point, I think
Because there's a lot of commercial music out there, and commercial music, if you don't have the license to use it, you'll get a copyright claim. At worst,
but I
a
just
copyright strike.
matching the success of the other RPGs that came out this generation that all broke records. Now, to be fair, BioWare is breaking their own records, but if you were a Dragon Age fan and you've been waiting 10 years, this is probably hitting you harder than Koreans are hitting Johnny Somali right now.
Pow, right in the kitchen.
Unfortunately for me, I was live streaming and somebody paid me money to play the game, followed by buying me a copy of the game. And I said, well, hell, I don't want to be like other people online and just talk out of my ass. I'm actually gonna play it.
Hey, I'm going to play it. If you give me a key of the game, I'm going to play it. Why not?
I unlisted that stream. You're never gonna see me rage quit, okay? It was embarrassing. I've never felt so
But
frustrated.
I don't think I can, even if you give me the key, because it won't run on my PC. Thank goodness for my PC.
Streaming again on Sunday. If you wanna watch it, be my guest. 4 hours in, and I can tell you, this game does not respect the player's intelligence. Not only does it not respect your intelligence, but the gameplay.
Come on, what are you complaining about? It's a game for the LGBTQ plus community.
Runs
Are you a member of the LGBTQ plus community?
horrendous.
If not, then
3080. Dial
it's not for you. Why are you even playing? You just wasted money.
It looks like a 3D rendition of 2D art that you
The
would.
game is properly tagged in Steam, so
Characters are not
there shouldn't be any complaints. Actually,
more outdated than I was expecting. Lip syncing is off. Voice acting, not good. Soundtrack sounds like any random copyright free music you can nab off of YouTube as background noise for a video. The UI, the goddamn UI, is so uninspiring in its design, but also clunky, not pleasant to use, and it just feels like a mobile UI. Like, the whole game adopts its entire combat and UI ideas from like games like Guardians of the Galaxy and Forspoken. Hell, I would say it plays a lot like Hogwarts Legacy, but without the flair. And you know, if that's what you're into, I guess it's serviceable, it's enjoyable to those that like it, but for someone like me, I don't know if I can really do 40 to 60 hours of this. My patience was wearing thin within 4 hours.
Tell me, why is your gameplay very choppy?
Really picks up near the end.
I'm assuming that the video or the gameplay video shown in this video
Play it on easy
is your gameplay video, and it's
minute after you've had
very choppy.
spam some attacks at an enemy or walk about 5 feet as exploration and combat are cut short.
I'm pretty sure someone with
Increasing the difficulty will fix
70,000 subscribers has a proper gaming PC.
Also not trying to miss
I don't have a proper. Maybe it's a proper gaming PC back in 2000s or 2010.
evil decisions to be made within my first 4 hours, so that is not a good role-playing experience. And per usual, like most RPGs, so I'm gonna give it slack here, it's all revolving around a MacGuffin that you have to find, and it's all about the journey getting there. Unfortunately, this journey has been absolutely boring. The fact I haven't been able to make a single influential decision that I care about,
I'm not gonna lie.
there's gonna be
Watching the gameplay video in this video of the game is making me nauseous. It's very choppy.
AI generated they feel. The producer Monty pointed it out to me, sending me several
A
screenshots.
return to form. There you go. This is the screenshot that I saw. Someone posted that in X. They were using the phrase "a return to form" as the tag, label, or catchphrase of the game.
And return to form in your reviews. And you know, the world isn't gonna notice. It got so bad.
And that is not natural, ladies and gentlemen. People of the world, people of the earth, that is not natural.
Exactly, word for word, like
Something like that doesn't happen naturally. It was
as you will.
given to them. They were instructed. They were instructed to add the phrase "a return to form."
Work and copy it, but to be honest with you, I think it's entirely
Anyone who disagrees with that is simply
we're happy
lying to you. They're not telling you the truth.
like doing okay at its best. Just to own the anti-woke crowd is pathetic. I mean, they hate that crowd so much they're willing to have games just be complete dog shit in order to get back at them, because that crowd does not play video games.
Being an anti-woke is good.
YouTubers or whatever.
Being an anti-Christ is not.
More. Like there's a 90% chance they are actually gamers, unlike the ones on Twitter who cheer on
I'd
progressive
rather be labeled as an anti-woke than an anti-Christ.
views are so high from publication.
Because again, wokes, they hate Christ for some reason. They hate Christianity. They hate Christians. So what are they? They are anti-Christ.
So I'm non-binary.
Okay, I've seen this one earlier.
That means I don't feel like a man or
I even it was in my previous live stream. It made the dialogue a lot better.
binary. I just said, and I'm going to use
How
that.
can you be non-binary? Okay, do you what you talking about? Again, guys, as I've said earlier, it doesn't really matter what you are. Okay, you can be non-binary, you can be solo, you can be
Why do you have to keep picking at it? Why can't
asexual. You can be this and you can be that. Okay, that is not the problem. The problem is you forcing it to others. That is where the problem happens.
I will go. Thank you for inviting me to your home.
And I think developers oftentimes forget that if you're not part of the LGBT community, you're not gonna get most of this or care about it. These developers seem to think like half the human
Come on, Fritanga, that is what inclusivity is.
reality shows, that's not even
It means bigoted.
story beat moments are complete.
You need to understand what they meant
Does
with the words they're using.
nothing to help
It's a whole new layer of
trying to push because
confusion.
everywhere and they don't get
It's like you're doing a side quest. You're living your life,
Game trying?
and you're doing a side quest.
Or is it trying to tell me a good
You're
story?
doing a side quest to complete a main quest, which is absurd.
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
What are you doing?
Pulling above.
And I also commented, like, in this one,
In the Lords of Fortune.
regarding misgendering, you can weaponize it, especially in countries where they actually criminalized misgendering. You as a straight person, you can weaponize that. You can use it against them. For example, if you're talking to someone and then they suddenly called you a he without even asking your pronoun, okay, and they just assume that is misgendering. You can just say, "How dare you misgender me? My pronouns is she and they." You can say that, and obviously they are guilty of misgendering automatically because
Any reason you can't just apologize?
there's no actual confirmation.
That fixes it. But they just want
The only confirmation is that
me, I know. But pulling above
it is basically just based on what you say.
shows the other person you mean it.
If you say you're this, then you're this. And you can even say you're gender fluid, so you can just change your pronouns
Make it about them.
every time.
Oh, you know, I didn't mean it right. I'd never do that on purpose. They feel so bad about it that it's on every...
I'm pretty sure there are 8 billion people on the planet.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure someone is already thinking of doing something like that, weaponizing it against the wokes.
They fix it.
And it's gonna be chaos. I'm telling you, it's gonna be chaos.
What are you
And
advocating for? Who in their right mind
it's gonna be super funny.
completely normal, rational, and organic? It's not like you can't write interesting LGBT characters, because you absolutely can. We have countless examples of it from the past. But it's like the messaging wasn't enough for them then. They need to hammer it in. They need you to understand, but you can't.
There is a difference between having an LGBTQ character from an actual LGBTQ game, okay? A game targeted. The reason why they are hammering it, or the reason why they are
There's much
pounding it from behind, is because it is an LGBTQ plus game. That's the big difference.
Everything I'm telling you, minus, the anti-woke stuff, is exactly what Mr. Matty Plays was saying in his review, which Twitter took such a big issue with. They tried to create a false narrative that he broke NDA and released leaked footage to a racist friend.
Oh, come on, that's not Twitter.
The crowd that's coming
It's not Twitter, it's just,
Dragon Age are insane.
you know, we should stop like generalizing things. It's just, some people, or maybe one or two people or a few people
Did not have
that
LGBT narrative.
has an X account.
They put it in there in the first place. Developers know that,
When you say Twitter, it's like, oh wow, everyone in Twitter is like
default,
doing it. They're doing it as an entire group,
in spite of
which is not actually.
completely full of shit on this review, they still put out those reviews. I had to replay Mass Effect 1 on my Steam Deck just to have a palate cleanser afterwards. And it is truly a remarkable difference in tone, atmosphere, voice acting, decision making. Like, it's not a return to form. And reviewers like Mr. Matty,
It is a return to form because
Matty was one
they
page
said so.
away from finally actually speaking out on the politics.
And
But
if you're not down with that,
he didn't do that. It is quite
then you are bigoted.
terrible writing for its political messaging. The closest Matty could get was to saying it was cringe, and he still struggled saying that. Which lets you know exactly where Matty stands, and yet for some reason, Twitter still didn't give him the benefit of the doubt, and they wanted to
Oh, come on, it's not Twitter.
be more emotionally invested.
It's not Twitter. There's a lot of
what they
topics
is right, which is
being discussed in Twitter. Gaming is just like a small fraction of it.
deliver your message for you.
And I've seen this part where I think it was someone named Grums, but
refuses
He
to
owned it, I guess. He apologized and
hear you talk about
he
it.
said that he made a mistake, basically.
Asmongold's community.
So it's not Twitter. It's just a few people, maybe a few hundred people in Twitter.
At Dragon Age sub.
It's a very isolated
Hello.
part
You have been
of Twitter.
banned from participating in Dragon Age because you broke the community's rules. You won't be able to post
That is,
a comment, but you can
that is, or I should say,
note from the moderator.
that was how Asmongold got
Due
in trouble.
too many repeated infractions
He generalized.
rules.
He lumped
Gold.
everyone in one basket
We revoke
and called everyone
as a preventative measure
or called
and focus on
the people an inferior culture, something like that.
against woke culture.
Just because there are
Dragon Age
certain groups of people in that
recommend visiting
large group
if you feel
of people
ban and error.
that are doing terrible and disgusting things.
The Dragon Age subreddit has banned basically everybody from commenting. Like, anybody who comments on my subreddit and then comments on Dragon Age gets automatically banned. Update, I just got auto banned from the Dragon Age sub because I also subscribed to Asmongold. They felt I already violated community rules. Quote, it's not in the rules. My comment was regarding how
Inclusivity, ladies and gentlemen. Inclusivity.
using a new sector of marketing to control the narrative on all fronts. Well, if they're trying to control the narrative, they're doing a really
They love you so much
What
that they will include you
fragile audience?
as long as you agree with their values and beliefs and opinions. If not, then you are excluded.
Personal opinions on a goddamn video game. And what
I will never get tired of repeating that because it's the truth. It's true.
game ever?
1 hour later.
gender identity options. Oh my, here we go.
And
Take a long, hard look
you
at
know what? People who are
a hero who can get it done.
just surviving and living day-to-day lives,
New dialogue options in future conversations.
gender identity, they don't care about it. And this is a medieval fantasy game. And again, it's a medieval fantasy game. There's magic, sure, but not everyone has magic. There are a lot of common people. And if you look at the common people in all medieval fantasy stories,
They don't talk.
you'll see that they are living day-to-day lives, which means they're barely surviving.
The longer you are,
And
the more aware you will become of these
because they're barely surviving,
tolerance,
they're living to survive.
criticism. Because unfortunately, there is.
They have no time to worry about gender ideology.
If you're somebody who
Their main worry is finding food to eat
inorganic
or how they will survive
possible to deny the
day, or
the political
you know,
messaging doesn't
you know what I mean. I'm having a hard time.
make up like the entirety of a lot of
What do you call this?
personality traits. Oftentimes, the game
Chaining up words.
way to blatantly lecture the player on how to approach misgendering.
That's why gender ideology is not popular in the East, because in the East, most
Message that can resonate.
countries, there are a lot of countries in the East that are third world countries. You'll notice that gender ideology is only popular in the West, where no one goes hungry. In the West, no one goes hungry. Everyone is prosperous. They have lots of food to eat. They have no problems. Hence, they make up problems like gender ideology. In the East, everyone is hungry. Well, not everyone, but most are struggling to survive. Guess what? They won't add gender ideology into their lives just to worry about it. Their worries most
Something we might need to zero.
of their worries is about finding food and surviving the next day.
Lace Harding.
Rook! Lyrium! It's like I'm infused with lyrium!
I noticed it when we touched. That night when we talked about your dreams.
You knew?
Someone who is hungry
Wow, I feel
will not worry about gender ideology. Ooh, am I gender fluid? Am I
Not funny!
non-binary? Am I trans? No. They won't worry about that.
Circumstances.
They'll worry about,
But because
okay, how am I going to eat
super old
tomorrow? Where am I going to find food?
we're supposed
Hey, do you have a job for me?
excellent. If you were to
That is what their worries are.
journalists
It's not about
actually be able to see the game for what it is. And that's a huge
it's not about their sexuality.
affects reviews, affects sales of games, affects perception of the industry. That's why it's so easy for people to fall for anything Grum's posts on Twitter, even if sometimes it's not correct or he might be something he made up entirely. Because it's so easy to look at all of those repetitive reviews and not think to yourself, was this a standard procedure of selected terms and phrases that BioWare demanded out of reviewers? A narrative that one can easily believe and someone can take full advantage of. And you know what? I don't even blame people for believing it, because these developers make it that easy. And the journalists all falling in line with it, that right there is what makes gamers gravitate.
Not journalists. Again, they're not journalists. They are paid writers. There's nothing wrong about
Can't be found
writing
journalists. You know, I never really
articles, reviews for a game, but
of all
they're not journalists. That is where the problem is. Calling them journalists. They're not. They're not journalists. They don't follow the ethics of journalism. They're not objective.
and it's being reviewed by those.
They don't tell the truth,
Bias really
and they're not fair.
in the world of journalism. All right, with the
Come on, stop with the journalism, please.
damage control.
They're not journalists.
To have 300,000 concurrent players based on how much the industry is glazing it up. When you can sniff out this obvious bias, it really changes your perspective on these creators and social media influencers, because it means they have adopted that agenda and they're perfectly okay with it. Well, actually not okay with it, they embrace it. They think it's probably like the backbone of storytelling. But once they actually play the games, then they'll know that they are trash. And the reasons people like me are playing it is so that you don't have to. I'd rather have 500 people watching me play it versus 500 people buying it. That's my logic. You know, after everything we've covered here, after the clips I've shown you, if that ain't enough to convince you, then I guess give it a try. But for the sake of your own sanity, I don't recommend you do. I feel like I'm owed even more money to continue playing this.
Yes, you are, sir. You are owed money for playing that game. You need to charge them. You need to send a bill to BioWare, I believe, is the publisher. Go send them a bill. Tell them you had to go through sessions, psychiatric sessions. After only playing the game for an hour, you had to spend hundreds of dollars paying for a psychiatrist just to get you back on track. And then you go and find a psychiatrist that will sign off. And maybe you can make some money from it. Okay, let's see. That was Fritanga Plays. You more in Dragon Age. Not going to watch that. Legacy Killer. This was 2 days ago. Dragon Age, the Veilguard tried to fool everyone 1 day ago. Let's see. This is from Legendary Drops. It's kind of long, 30 minutes. Let's see. 16 hours ago, score of 100. Really? Dragon Age? Really? Really? Weird. Okay, this is only this is 24 hours, and this is kind of new, so let's go check this one. I'm not going to watch this one.
Have you done your apology push-ups yet today? You remember this, the Dragon Age, the Veilguard cutscene where BioWare lectures...
It's bounding into comics, okay, bounding into comics. Going to subscribe because I've seen a few videos from this channel.
Bella, the Pirate Queen, who's recently had a horrible botched face surgery, tells you all about that one drunk guy that started this whole trend of doing push-ups or some type of physical labor to represent that you're sorry or you want to apologize for minor offenses, because it's not enough to say sorry. It's not enough.
Is your name Sida? Sida, you can weaponize it. Again,
you don't want to do that.
If you're talking to someone from the, if you're talking to a woke person,
which makes me wonder,
obviously during your conversation, they'll have to use pronouns to refer to you. And you can turn it around and claim that you are misgendered. You were misgendered. They committed a crime.
The lady from...
they can't do anything about it. Because the only requirement is that...
her temper. I think that's the YouTube safe way of saying that she's...
There's no requirement.
Down here, though,
it is so easy, my goodness. It's so easy.
I want to get here to where Smash JT explains what his contact told him. Again, it's not that none of this isn't above it, isn't important. It's that what I want to focus on for this video is right here. We'll put a link to this post from at smashjt.com down in the link below, in the description below, rather. The link will be in the description, not the other way around. So you check that out. You read the whole post about this, but we're going to talk about this part right here. It says, the insider that called Smash JT disclosed that BioWare's corporate structure has become more woke than anyone could possibly imagine right now.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Insider.
Nothing wrong. If a business wants to become woke and embrace an ideology, a belief system, there's nothing wrong. There's a lot of businesses that are Christians or Christian run and operated and owned business. There's a lot. There's a lot of Muslim owned business. There's nothing wrong with a business embracing an ideology. Nothing wrong.
They've built into their company now. It seems like BioWare has drank from the same Kool-Aid. Anyway, back to this. Time in, right? Is that how it works? Do you do that? Anyway. He stated that men...
Now, if you know that they are...
Unless they identify as some form of...
They are...
Gender or...
This type of business, and they're producing this type of content, and you still buy from them.
People they can control within the company.
They're not the problem anymore. You are the problem. You are to blame.
Doesn't that sound familiar? People who parrot and embrace the exact same ideology that...
But if these businesses are hiding, now that's where the problem is.
A different direction.
Now, the problem...
Have a thought on a different direction.
Falls on them if they are hiding.
Proverbial line.
The nature.
You're in trouble.
Of their business. And the types of product that they're creating.
So after Corinne Bush, this is the director of Dragon Age the Veilguard, was brought in to do this job, this is how things went. The atmosphere...
So if they're making games for the modern audience, or if they're making games for the LGBTQ plus community, they should, inform or label the product properly so that you as a buyer or a customer can...
preference to anyone.
You are informed of the product that you are buying. Okay. It's an LGBTQ plus game. I don't play LGBTQ plus games. They're not for me. Then now you can not buy it because you were properly informed. The problem, as I've said earlier, is that the public, the customers, are not properly informed. That's why, again, really appreciate what Steam did by adding the LGBTQ plus label or tag on Dragon Age the Veilguard. Now, everyone, there are millions of users. There are millions of Steam users. Now, those millions will, see the games page, they'll know that, oh, it's an LGBTQ plus game.
It wasn't anything.
It's obvious it's not for me. Then they can just move on to the next game.
Anything that's going on here. Like, he gets in trouble with a female employee.
And if you're not into LGBTQ plus games, then you still bought the game.
Anything awkward. This person just...
You shouldn't be able to refund it. Honestly, you shouldn't be able to refund it because...
From getting...
And if that is your only complaint, it's that it has LGBTQ plus content in it or ideology in it. Because now it's on you. It's no longer the game's problem. It's your problem. You know it's LGBTQ plus. You still bought it.
They're concerning themselves.
And now you're complaining.
Like
you won't get any sympathy from me. No. Zero sympathy.
These headhunter DEI controllers, these DEI directors for their company, that their job in the job description.
I saw a screenshot that even shows DEI. I'm going to check whether it has DEI tag
this is what BioWare apparently
on it.
Has already done. And Corinne Bush was just apparently like...
Okay, no, there is no DEI tag
worked very
on Dragon Age, the Veilguard. Only LGBTQ plus, fantasy, single player, RPG, politics. Okay, Daigo, if you're not into,
that's much
political games, especially current day political topics,
other things.
It's right there. It's right there. It is shown right there. Even though if you are looking for a fantasy single-player RPG game, okay, that's kind of redundant RPG and then game.
It comes up with things
but
like this, where you end up...
It still says right there that it's LGBTQ+.
As ideal.
You have no reason to complain anymore that it's woke or LGBTQ+.
Into the corpse of a jacket that it is now being paraded around as the insider told Smash JT. Now, this information comes from Bandar Hub. Now, this is at HUBBANDAR.
And there's nothing wrong. There's also nothing wrong in making games for the LGBTQ+ community, because there are gamers in the LGBTQ+ community.
Check out all this.
It only becomes a problem when it's not properly labeled.
And then went and found the...
Because if you have a game that's not labeled as such, everyone will think it's a game for the general audience. But it's not.
But rather,
now, that's where the problem comes in.
Present around.
But if it's properly labeled, a normal, not normal, a common gamer, a common folk will see the game, and then they will see the label. Oh, it's LGBTQ+. Okay, it's not for me. They can just ignore it and move on to the next game.
So here we go. Luke here works for Checkpoint Gaming, and he rated the Dragon Age: The Veilguard a absolute...
He gave it 100 score, 100 points. There's no
I'll explain to you this, right?
That's fine. That is not a problem. If he thinks, or if this person thinks it's 100-point game,
we're taking this on.
He has the right.
My teachers were from like California, and they were used to like
to say it or write about it or to tell you about. Oh, dude, I'm giving this game 100 points.
So my teachers are like, ooh,
that is his right.
Picking this up. We're gonna get...
All you can do is disagree with him, and I guess that is what we're doing right now. We are disagreeing with him.
Teaching the class a couple of times.
Oh, come on, I disagree. It's not 100.
Let me get up front.
100-point game. It's
the other kids, okay? So they
40 at most.
And wonder why they told me they couldn't give me 100? Because it would look like they were showing favoritism to me. If they gave me a 100, it would look fake, is what they told me. Okay? You can't give a student a 100 on their like quarter.
People are allowed to be corrupt
because you look like you were favoring them. There would be questions about
it. Is wrong and can be illegal. But if you can't prove it,
if you're serious about it, right?
In the end, it's all about what you can prove.
Conditions to never be satisfied. That's a bumper sticker. It's on T-shirts. That's in kitchens across America. So here you go. This is what Luke had to say, and he says, Dragon Age: The Veilguard is a triumphant return to form. You're going to hear that a lot. For one of gaming's most...
A return to form.
It's an epic and grandiose...
That is why it's best.
Woven,
it's best to find a content creator that you trust, and then you can rely on their opinions and perspective about games or anything, basically.
Treasure.
You don't have to rely on gaming websites.
So here we go.
From reviews written and posted by gaming writers.
This is what Bandar.
You don't have to rely on them because obviously they are all paid writers.
Within the review.
I'm pretty sure they won't be doing this if they weren't paid.
On the video games industry is still being felt to this day, particularly for
and maybe he or maybe this person is into playing LGBTQ games. That's why he gave it 100 points.
Shout out needs to happen,
and that is again perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
When it comes to
it's an opinion,
diversity and sexuality and gender. Again, I won't go into too many details.
See, to this person,
left
gender ideology and sexuality is
playing as a
very important
protagonist. I was able to flirt with whomever.
To this person, it's very important. Now, if that is not important to you, obviously,
options.
You can. You don't have to rely on the review alone. Okay, you better or the points alone.
Fantasy, right? A dating sim.
Because to this person, gender ideology, sexuality is important. To you, it's not.
To the Dragon Age.
Obviously, it's not a game for you.
Star.
But after learning all that,
great.
You know it's an LGBTQ plus game. You're not into LGBTQ. You know the game is has or incorporates gender ideology, gender sexuality, and all kinds of
I know. I'm just not going to say it.
Sexual things, but you're not into that, and you still bought it
every 4 years, if you will. So
it's no longer the game's problem.
When I'm not reading,
it's your problem.
And so it's meticulously making their interpretation of the perfect fantastical hero.
That is why before buying anything, whether it's game, whether it's movies, whether it's books, it's best to check out a few reviews from content creators that you can trust.
But I can't wait to see.
Or content creators that you think or feel you have the same taste.
Dragon Age Inquisition has for a long time been repeatedly mentioned as a key moment in gaming history when it comes to representation, and Dragon Age the Veilguard is set to be another milestone. I am stoked for any young, uncertain folk who will be able to play a mainstream AAA RPG like this and feel seen. Snaps to you.
I don't understand this safety thing.
In the rainbow community.
What do they mean about safety or safe?
Poetry stuff in this.
It's like
everybody was making.
It's like you're sitting in your room playing a game, and then the Terminator will appear and beat you to a pulp or something.
You know who he's referring to when he says young. And consider this, that there's a lot of people celebrating the Ranma half reboot. Or, yeah, it's a reboot. Let's just be honest. Because they think it's going to crack the egg or crack some eggs. And that's what they call people who are, they believe are transgender, but either don't know it yet or don't feel emboldened enough to make the leap into going through the physical changes. And so, there you go. That's what Luke had to say about it. But let's dive a little bit further down the rabbit hole and maybe find a hypocrite in all of this. How about that? And so we've got Roland Bishop here, and as you can see, he's sporting some fancy pronouns. That's how you know he's part of the right side of history. So here you have it. He says 90 for Metro Game Central. That's how he rated the game. Not as perfect as Luke, by the way. Had some issues with it. We'll find out. It's a triumphant return for BioWare with a
return to form.
Fantasy role player that combines a complex and intuitive fighting system with a great script and a glorious looking world to explore.
They have never played
But while
other games because they are describing the fighting system
It's dark horse for me,
like it's
nowhere. And you'll understand
gold or something.
play. Remember? Tosh.
As much as I love Skyrim, the combat system is not the strength of Skyrim. It's very boring, it's very bland, it's very bare bones.
Approaches to gender, but not in a way that feels pretty.
I wish I could mod the fighting
Push-ups yet today? You probably ought to.
in my installed copy of Skyrim, but unfortunately, I don't have a strong PC, and usually adding a combat system
You need to do push-ups. That's how it works.
that is different from or a combat mod, requires a lot of CPU process.
It's just another small part of the world and characters who inhabit it. Now, he had a lot to say.
Because you're not just changing the animations,
This is what Bandar tells us, and he says,
hence the name combat system.
same reviewer that saw fit to preach to us about J.K. Rowling's view in his Hogwarts Legacy review, and he says, add to that J.K. Rowling's increasingly toxic
There is nothing wrong with J.K. Rowling's views or opinions.
controversy of
Nothing wrong.
Rowling being paid
This guy here
from the
who
Hogwarts.
did this review, there's nothing wrong with his review. It is his opinion.
They were harassing people into the point of just quitting their jobs because they played a Harry Potter game. I mean, I get it. It's Harry Potter. I mean, it's pretty annoying, but it's not a reason to cancel people. And the reason why they were doing this was because of J.K. Rowling getting a paycheck from it. Had nothing to do with the actual game, the development, how it played, what was involved in it. They just wanted it dead because J.K. Rowling was getting money out of it. And so this guy piled in on top of that.
Again, cider or cider, that is inclusivity. That is the woke definition of inclusivity. To us common folks, that is the definition of bigotry.
And so
now you know, woke, they call it inclusivity. Common folks, us common folks, we call it bigotry.
About this is they gave the game a 100. This person gave the game a 100. Yet another one.
And when you see a woke person calling you a bigot,
anything best.
What they're trying to say is you actually have common sense.
Probably put it in a time.
It's like
reserve it for future generations. Okay.
Talking to someone with an opposite mind.
Real nice.
It's like opposite day.
You're like
it's like every day is an opposite day.
It's not that big of a deal. All right. So if you're going to be a professional reviewer, you expect your opinion to be respected. You don't hand out zeros and you don't hand out 100s. Okay. It's just how it goes. But anyway, back at the 100 town, you have CG Magazine's Dana Eileen writing, BioWare took the time they needed to bring Dragon Age fans the perfect RPG experience. From style to story.
They thought BioWare or whomever it is running the game's marketing, they thought that if 100 people give the game a score of 90 to 100, they thought that it will sell more.
Right, the Veilguard was because they killed.
Why do they think that? Because they think you, me, gamers are stupid. Yeah, sure, there are stupid gamers out there. Because guess what? There are still people out there, or gamers out there, that continues to give money to people who hates them.
Around will have a great impact.
And that is fine. Okay, that is fine.
Great to see a company jump into.
If they want to give money to those who hates them, it's fine. It's their money.
I am sure a wake of people.
What's not fine is after giving them money, they complain that the thing that they paid for
my books
is bad.
I don't.
or the company or the thing that they are giving money to, they
stories were clear.
they keep producing
Audience, you have to pretend and validate
disgusting and horrible games.
to be another gender.
You want them to stop doing that? Stop giving them money.
When
Because if they don't have money, guess what? They won't be able to make
transgender. In fact, you kind of end up
terrible things.
side quest. So completionists out there have to do trans mode, if you will, in order to get the whole game done, because there's different aspects to it. You have a different relationship with Ta'ash if you identify as non-binary. And so, and again, like transgender, you know, however.
Come on, Cider. Don't be surprised.
Most of your interactions.
Don't be surprised because again, it's an LGBTQ plus game. It's right there in the tag, in the Steam tag.
That is always present. There's no point from what I could see with these playthroughs. Like again, these other streamers have gone out and
You don't play LGBTQ games, LGBTQ plus games.
them at night. I pray for their sanity.
You are
the super chats.
properly informed.
Lots of subscribers, because boy howdy, that is a labor of love to put themselves through that. Feel free to check out Vera Dark. Feel free to check out Hypnotic. Feel free to check out, I think Beardo from Geeks and Gamers is going to be playing it as well. So check that out. And from what I've seen through these playthroughs, Ta'asha is always got the air of that. This is it's their whole personality. Their whole personality is just being outsider transgender character that put themselves there, by the way. Ta'ash decided, you saw that in the screenshots. Ta'ash decided, this is what we're doing. I'm a they now, and you have to respect that. And for no reason decided to center their existence on that. And then anywhere you go with this character.
I am a Catholic, and everyone must respect it.
And that's what you're dealing with.
If you don't,
That's
you are bigoted,
have this constantly
and you are an evil person,
constantly
and that will go to hell.
in a direct dialogue tree, but definitely in the attitude and behavior of these characters. Definitely in the little side conversation.
That is how the woke mind works.
Push-ups for misgendering a character. Because some drunk guy. Like it's one thing to have like a religious tradition that everyone practices about apology, but some drunk guy somewhere did a thing, and so all these people that are friends with other people who were friends with that one drunk guy now all do this. And what is this doing in a fantasy game? I have to stress just how much this feels like a Netflix original. It feels like it's intended to be a 15-episode thing.
Also, come on, people.
And then it's over with.
Stop watching Netflix.
Intense, gentle connection to the experiences before it, and it's only meant to really push home an agenda. As you can
If you're looking for
sporting their tags, so a
website where you can watch television series and movies, go with Prime Wire. Just make sure you have
take a 90.
an ad blocker.
That I will take a 100. It's like this guy down here. Rollin, they gave it a 90. I'm more inclined to believe that he actually enjoyed something other than the propaganda in the game. All right? I'm more inclined to believe that he actually sat down, even though he said a triumphant return to, a triumphant return to form, that kind of thing.
Here's the thing, because these writers have exposed themselves, okay, gamers. Now you know who they are, and they have like Twitter accounts. What you can do is block them.
I know that there's
because
somebody else.
what they write
certainly no way to please
are pieces of crap.
There's
and you don't want to read
pizza topping, okay? One guy or two guys.
or you don't want to consume crap.
Cheese, pepperoni, hamburger.
Okay, you don't want to consume shit.
Making a consensus.
Okay.
Agreeing to a pizza topping.
I'm telling you.
To give up what he actually wanted, okay? That's how it works. That's to settle.
Your stomach will turn just from smelling shit.
Do a 100.
It's not a good thing.
It's a joke review. Absolutely.
They have exposed themselves.
Everything was perfect.
They have Twitter accounts. Go block them.
The animations were just my type.
Their words is not worth.
What are you doing? Right?
Your time.
What review is that?
Their words are not worth your attention.
Diminishing your credibility. And so there you have it. from top to bottom, back to front, from
It
game
is amazing
studio to reviewer.
that they exposed themselves.
Leading competition to remind everybody who's not on the right side of history that they're being left behind by the cool kids at BioWare. I don't know, guys. You'll have to let me know what you think about it down in the comments below.
Okay, so guys, that is another hour. Imagine that, doing 2 hours. Although I'm not quite sure whether this is live or not. I'm looking at OBS and the indicator is red. I hope it's live though. I hope it's live. And if you guys are watching it live and you enjoyed it a little, just a tiny bit, maybe consider following the channel in Rumble. And if you're in YouTube for some weird reason, you found my channel in YouTube, it's Shadow Band, and you're watching it there, please consider subscribing, or better yet, just go to rumble.com and create an account. Or you don't have to create an account if you're just going to watch videos or live streams. Just bookmark my channel. It's rumble.com/caballero. It's in the description somewhere. Also in Twitch, Shadowban maybe as well in Twitch. Don't know. Kick. There you go. Following Kick in Twitch as well. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Again, reminder guys, don't spend money on people, on businesses, on things that hate you. Okay? If you want them to stop hating you, stop giving them money. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.